down. Time. Time, right?
So in this case, if you were to get them all correct like we just did, the reward would just be like the little cutscene where he says, "What's in my pocket?"
Yeah. And now he's got a much higher chance of avoiding attacks. And for each of the riddles that he got right, I think he boosted your health a little bit.
Yeah, so if you got it right, I believe it was a 2
Like 2
health.
I think so,
and
yes.
if you got it
2.
wrong, it was a 1 decrease to your health.
And then you'd still have to go and fight him. Oh, would you look at that? It's Gandalf.
I guess I should have asked you if you wanted to say yes or no.
Oh, I don't know, yeah.
So if you chose no here, you would go left, and you would have to fight the white orc all by yourself, changing the story. If you chose yes, like we just did here, you would go with Gandalf, which also basically changes the story by, well, fighting the main guy here.
And also, yeah, we didn't have any.
You would not have Gandalf.
We didn't have.
But you'd have one of these.
We didn't have anything that looks like, you know, a big old goblin dude. So we have a hairy bush thing. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but it works. That was the same thing we used for the troll.
And just to point it out, the reason why we didn't have the Goblin King like you see here, like that guy, be the mob that will be the guy that you walk into and find, is because the models for the enemies that you modify and the models that you spawn in are two completely different things.
Yeah. Some of them look kind of similar, but not really, actually. A lot of them are very, very different.
So how this boss fight was structured is, in the movie, the Goblin King really didn't do much. He kind of died pretty immediately. So what happened here was we made it to where the Goblin King would kind of be a guy that buffs all the enemies. And you can kill the enemies, but as long as the Goblin King is alive, because in the movie had an endless horde, they would just replace each other. So the goal of this is to kill the Goblin King before even focusing the troops.
Goblin. Pretty simple to take out.
Oh, and to Miss Tony watching this, I am very sorry for having you watch this. This is the halfway point, I believe. And we're already 25 minutes in.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long time.
I'm also gonna try and skip as much battles as possible. Just for the sake of time.
So wait, when we're turning this video in, sorry, I guess probably shouldn't talk about this while recording the video, but when we're turning this in, we're just sending this to Miss Roni, or are we posting this on like a YouTube and sending that to her?
Do you need to post this on YouTube?
I don't know, I don't really care. I think it would be easier if we just somehow sent this to her directly.
Make a YouTube video.
Yeah.
Oh, Garrett, would you like me to, at the end of this video, show Miss Roni all the assets that we've used in this, just so she can, like, see what everything that went into this?
Sure. Yeah, because there was a lot that went into this.
Oh, did we ever specify what this was? Like, what our basically scope is that we're doing for the story?
What do you mean?
Like, for the hero's journey, like, the tools.
I think we're still
trials.
kind of in the trials, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
And then after this, once they get to the White Orc, that would be the start of the approach.
Yeah, because
I don't entirely understand what they mean by approach, but I think that that's pretty close, because that's when they start to really get close to the mountain. They start commenting on how they're seeing the mountain. They're kind of narrowing in on their final goal.
yeah, the only reason why it's kind of hard to tell is because when building a game, it's very hard to get the story elements to fit where you want them to fit.
Yeah, definitely.
And here is going to be a boring part, because in order to be able to advance for the sake of the RPG, we're going to need to fight quite a few battles, so it might skip ahead 5-ish minutes if I were you, Miss Roni. Actually, never mind. I might just end up editing this out.
Yeah. Okay, well then I guess we're...
Actually, I could do one of those supercuts where it goes like each battle in like 4 seconds.
Yeah. Well then, if we're sending this directly to Miss Roni, then we can go and show her actually some of the secrets that we hid without spoiling it for other people. Is what I'm thinking.
We could do that. But
So that's like...
we've already passed a couple of them, so like, and we can't show her one in the green place with the spiders, because that would just be a game.
Well, I don't think she's playing it, is she?
Probably not. I mean, we could tell her about the one of the caves and she's gonna see this video.
Yeah. We can just mention it, because that's kind of very off-route and would take a bit extra time and completely destroy the entire team.
Yes, you take 2 seconds to just to have your entire team obliterated. It's the best secret ever.
Yeah.
It's
And
really
then at the
funny
very...
because if you stumble upon it, you can easily get your guys leveled up and then come back to it later and beat the first part of the secret and find out there's a second part. And
Yeah,
then get back
and then
again.
at the very end, we can show her the developer room, and then
Yes.
on the very, very last second, we show her Jasper. And explain the whole story behind Jasper and how actually in a part of the game that you actually couldn't see, he jumped out of the world, somehow ended up in the developer room.
I wonder if it refreshes so you can actually see it happen, but I don't think it does.
It doesn't. No, I guess you can't really do a whole lot of backtracking, can you?
No, you'd have to play through the entire level segments.
Yeah, because I'm like, you can't really go back to the beginning. Or I guess you can just walk off the path. We haven't fixed that yet.
Yeah, so
you could
part
just...
of the level structure, the reason why you can't just leave is because when designing you block the levels, so like in the beginning with the hobbit hole, it started out like the dwarves were in the dining room, and then in order to get the effect when you woke up and all the dwarves were gone, that's actually two completely different levels. We couldn't just like get an event and remove things. We had to completely remake the level in order to get that feel.
Yeah. Because I was just thinking that we could go back and instead of doing the grinding, just use the well. But you don't get as much experience from that.
Yet again, the well of unlimited levels does work and is a valid strategy.
And this is also why we should just send this video to Miss Roni, because if we mention the well of unlimited levels to Jarrett during his speedrun, we know that he's going to use that.
Yes.
We 100% know he's going to use that.
That's why we will not tell him, or when he finds out, says he wasn't allowed to use that.
And that's also right before we... In this version, we've got, you know, the ability to walk off the path. When we send the game to him, when you send me the game files, put the ledges around the path so he can't stray off.
Yeah. So basically what Garrett's saying is there's actually two different versions of the game. The one we're recording is what I would like to call the easy version, and the one that we're actually going to let other people play is what I would call the normal version.
Yeah, we're sending it to Jarrett so that he can speedrun it on his YouTube channel. And Matthew. Matthew's not speedrunning on though. He's just...
Oh, for later on in the run, we actually added a shop. And there are things that you can buy, like stat increases with the gold that you earn throughout. But the one thing to keep in mind is that these stat increases are like 3 extra damage for 3,000 points. And
yeah, not very good deal.
yes, and when I ran it earlier for the test run to make sure everything was working, I ended up with about